Right, gentlemen, welcome in today's video. Today, as you can tell, I am going to drive you through an exercise to discover your core wound. This is a self-discovery guide for the nice guys. Now, we are going to start by introducing what a wound is and why it's so important to heal. Every nice guy carries a hidden core wound, which is an emotional injury created in childhood that shapes the way he sees himself, others, and the world. This wound is not your fault, and I want this to be very clear. It was created by the environment you grew up in, family dynamics, for example, criticism, neglected, conditional love, or lack of emotional safety, cultural expectations, for example, messages about masculinity, achievement, or self worth, social experiences, bullying, rejection, or being compared to others, or early relationships, moments when love felt uncertain, conditional, or unsafe. Now, as children, we adapt in order to survive and we create beliefs. We create beliefs like, I'm not good enough, I have to earn love to be accepted. If I show who I really am, people will see my flaws and reject me. And if I get close, they'll leave me and it will be my fault. Now, I want to be clear that these are copy mechanism that yourself created as a kid in order to survive. These beliefs, again, will be protective as a child and become self sabotaging in adulthood. They quietly drive nice guys' behaviors like people pleasing, hiding emotions, avoiding conflicts, overgiving, and struggling to feel truly confident. Imagine this little boy, and he has parents that are not available, that are not present, that give him conditional love. He creates a belief where he says to himself, it's my fault, it's my fault, I'm not good enough, I have to earn love in order to be accepted. And he starts to behave like this to get the attention and to get the love from the parents. Now, the problem comes when you enter a relationship because you are going, your beliefs makes you behave the same way, so you will be a people pleaser, you will be hiding your emotion, avoiding conflict, overgiving, struggling to feel truly confident, struggling to be a leader. All those fake beliefs that you created about toxic masculinity, all those behaviors are going to play out, and you are just going to be and act like the 5 years old version of yourself. You are entering relationship with that mindset, with that mentality, with those fears, with those beliefs. Identify your core wounds is important because it brings clarity. Awareness and acceptance are the very first steps you need to take in order to change. And when I say change, I mean change these beliefs and change these programs. If you keep closing your eyes to the problem, you'll never be able to see it clearly. And without clarity, healing is impossible. When you finally look at your wound with honesty and compassion, you create the space to let it go and move forward. Again, this is not your fault. This is no one else's fault. It is what it is, but it can be changed. And that's the really important aspect of this. The four core wounds that most nice carries, we already talked about them. And the first one is I'm not good enough. I want to explain them briefly. I'm not good enough. This is a wound that comes from shame and self blame, formed when you felt criticized, compared, or not fully accepted for who you were. Sometimes reinforced by experiences where love or approval was withheld. As a child, you may have concluded if something feels wrong, it must be because of me, leads to perfectionism, overachievement, or constant self doubt. as if you always need to prove your worth. Inner voice says, I am the problem. I'll never be good enough as I am. Now, you can see how this can help you in business, can help you in your career, can help you in your job. But when it comes to relationship, this drives you on your knees because you will always try to be better. You'll always try to perform and you are never your true self. The next one is I have to earn love to be accepted. This is the one of conditional love, formed when affection, attention, or approval was only given if you behaved, achieved, or met expectations, created the beliefs that love is not freely given, it must be worked for, leads to people pleasing, overgiving, self sacrifice, and struggling to set boundaries. Inner voice says, if I don't give enough, achieve enough, or keep others happy, they won't love me. Again, this is a core wound that you created as a little boy in order to get the attention and get the love. And you created this belief that just by achieving, just by giving, you were able to be loved. And this makes you always being the person that goes above and beyond in order to make others happy. But the problem is you always leave yourself behind. You always sacrifice yourself in order for this to happen for others. The next one is if I show who I really am, people will see I'm not perfect and they will judge me and reject me. This is the wound of fear of rejection, formed when your true self, your feelings, your needs, or imperfections were judged, criticized, and dismissed. You learned it was safer to hide flaws and only show the acceptable version of yourself. Leads to hiding emotions, avoiding vulnerability, and constantly trying to appear flawless or good enough. Inner voice says, if people see the real me with all my flaws, they won't accept me. Again, this makes nice guys perform, always trying to be perfect, never creating a deep connection, never finding that love because they cannot show for who they are. You will find the right woman that loves you for who you are just when you will be able to show who you really are and not the perfect aspect of who you are. You need to show up as an integrated man, as a man with flaws and man with strength. The next one and last one is if I get close to someone, they will eventually leave me and it will be my fault. This is the wound of abandonment through inconsistency. Is formed when love and attention were inconsistent. Parents were emotionally unavailable, physically absent, or left altogether. As a child, you blame yourself, believing they left because of me. Because kids are very self-centered. They think everything rotates in around them. And that's not being selfish. That's how they see the world because they don't know anything better. As a child, you blame yourself and you think something must be wrong with me because they left me. Leads to fear of intimacy, avoiding closeness altogether to protect against loss and clinginess. Inner voice says, if I let myself depend on someone, they'll leave me because I'm not good enough to make them stay. Now, this was the last core wound that I usually find in nice guys. I find them all be there at all times, but different core wounds may be the driver cause of your nice guy syndrome. But as you may have noticed, they are all connected with each other. Now, from here, how do we use this guide in order to find your core wound, find your driver? Before you start, I want, of course, to grab a pen and a paper. You can write on your phone if needed, but a pen and paper is preferred because writing by hand helps you connect more deeply with your feelings. And this is very important today. Approach this work with intention and care. Take it seriously and be completely sincere. This is your self discovery journey. It's not mine. If you lie to yourself or try to give the right answer, you block your own growth. Honesty is essential. There is no right or wrong. Some questions may not have a clear answer, and that's okay. The goal is not to solve anything intellectually, but to explore and feel what comes up. You are going to have prompts and you are going to be led down a self discovery journey. Now, on this journey, it's not to understand at a intellectual level. You don't need to think, you need to feel what comes up in your body. Again, focus on feeling, not thinking. Many nice guys overthink and get anxious because they stay in their head instead of their body. Notice how your body reacts, what sensations arise, and what emotions surface. Our body is connected to our mind, which is connected with our nervous system. And we are a beautiful and perfect ecosystem. So all the signs that we feel in our body are sent by our mind, and by understanding those signs, we can understand more about ourselves. Embrace discomfort, and you will if you do this exercise. You might feel uneasy, anxious, or resistant as you answer this prompt, and that's normal. This is exactly where the work happens. Your core wound often lies in the places that feel uncomfortable to look at. When it happens, pause, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, slowly exhaling through your mouth, and remind yourself, I'm doing this for myself and no one else. No one has to read those answers. This is not a test. This is an exercise that you can do for yourself because you want to find out more about yourself, because you want to self improve. So be honest with yourself. And when you find the resistance, when you encounter that uneasiness, just lean forward, lean into it, and breathe. And the last one, step into the feeling. Again, allow yourself to feel what comes up without judgment. Awareness and acceptance of these feelings are the first step towards true healing. Stop hiding behind the mask, because that's what the nice guy syndrome is. It is a mask, it is an identity that you created to feel protected. You need to feel vulnerable. You need to be vulnerable in order to heal these wounds. And you don't need to be vulnerable to anyone but yourself. Now, on the next few pages, this slide and this slide is where the prompts are. I want you to pause this video and answer on the piece of paper one after the other. Take your time. There is no rush. No one is coming after you. This is not a test. This is a YouTube video or whatever format you receive this video by. And you can just take your time and do this properly, following the guidelines that I just explained to you. Now, once you get to this point, that means that you have answered to all those prompts. No right way, no wrong way. And some of them, you may not get an answer straight away. It may come up. From here, review your answers. Notice what themes or patterns keep repeating. Compare your reflections on the 4 wounds described earlier. And tell me, or tell yourself, which one feels most true, or most painful, or most familiar. That is going to be your core wound, the hidden driver of nice guy patterns. After completing the exercise, again, review, notice the patterns, and identify which wounds resonate the most with you. A reminder that it's important to understand that identify one main wound does not mean the others don't exist. Most nice guys carry one or more of these wounds simultaneously. So it's not I have one, the other one doesn't exist. We already say they are connected in some shape or form. They may just not be as relevant as your main core wound. Your wounds are not your fault, again, and truly, they are no one else's fault either. Every human being does the best, sorry, cut. Every human being does the best they can with the knowledge, tools, and awareness they have at the time. The difference now is that you have the tools that people who caused these wounds didn't have. With awareness, acceptance, and clarity, it becomes your responsibility to heal these wounds and let them go once for all. Now, one final step. Awareness is the first step towards healing. Now that you've identified your wound, your core wound, you've brought light to what was hidden for years. Your wound may have shaped your past, but it does not define your future. You can become whoever and whatever you want if you stop believing your beliefs, if you rewrite your beliefs, if you stop playing the programs that are on your unconscious mind, and if you truly heal those wounds. If you want the next step tailored to your wound, send me which wound you discover resonate most with you, and I'll guide you with a specific path forward. So, next step is text me on Instagram. You can find me at Men Going Through Life, or you can just look at the description down below and you will find the link to my Instagram account. And you can just text me shame, conditional, rejection, and abandonment. I have a chatbot that will answer you the the path forward, the first step that you can take towards healing these core wounds and change your nice guy syndrome, leave it behind, and finally being able to build the relationships that you want to build. Now, from me, today is everything. I hope this video was helpful to you. It was a pleasure for me to put it out there and to give you more knowledge and guiding you through this exercise. I hope you find it helpful, and I'm going to see you at the next video.